How's it going, guys? I hope you guys had a great week. So I'm back today with a game news related video, guys. It's been a while since I've done one of these, but things are starting to settle a little bit at work. I've just been doing a ton of overtime recently, but I've got more energy today, so I wanted to do a game news video. We'll get this out to you guys and obviously react to it. This one is actually related to The Last of Us Part 2. I'm going to be doing 2 game news videos, guys, today, so I'll upload these pretty close together because they are kind of connected. But in this first video, I want to talk about The Last of Us Part 2 and the fact that over the weekend on Sunday night, huge story spoilers, gameplay spoilers for the game were leaked online. These originated on YouTube. Sony and Naughty Dog jumped on this pretty quickly and obviously removed those videos. But you know, like always, once a spoiler is out there, the internet does what it does best and it replicates that information, keeps it alive and spreads it across the internet. This video, of course, I'm not going to talk about spoilers. I don't even know anything about the spoilers. Like many of you, I myself have been very careful since hearing this news, have been avoiding social media because I do not want to be spoiled for this game. I will be super pissed if the story gets spoiled for me or anything like that. So I am not going to be talking about any spoilers or anything that was revealed in this video because I just think that's really shitty. And I think if you are doing that, then you're really just in it for the clicks, you know, and the attention that you can get. And that's just generally how I feel. And so I'm not going to be talking about that, but I am going to be giving my thoughts on it and what we know about these leaks. So we do know that the footage, it was gameplay footage that was taken from a developer build. I think potentially it might have been a February or March build of the game, and the footage that was shown included some pretty key cutscenes with huge story spoilers. It even had things like level names, developer menus, and that kind of thing. We don't know fully where these leaks have come from, but there have been some speculation, and according to Kotaku UK, these leaks may have allegedly come from a Naughty Dog developer, from an employee that is disgruntled with Naughty Dog over a payment dispute. These are alleged, you know, rumors. Nothing has been concretely proven. You know, Naughty Dog haven't said who it's from. The person that's leaked the footage hasn't owned up to anything or hasn't sort of put their name to it. So we don't know where these leaks have come from, but allegedly it could have something to do with an internal dispute in Naughty Dog at the moment. So how have Naughty Dog responded to this? Well, obviously, as you can imagine, like probably many of us are feeling, clearly Naughty Dog are gutted. The game has been spoiled so significantly. This is a game they've been working on for a long time. It's a game that obviously they're pretty passionate about, and you know, obviously we had some disappointing news recently, which was that the game had been delayed and it wasn't going to be coming out on the 29th of May as we first thought, due to what's happening obviously at the moment, because they couldn't guarantee that they could get the game to people on time, that everybody could get to play and experience that game together at the same time. They had indefinitely delayed it. We do actually have now a new confirmed release date, and I'm going to talk about that in my second news video. Obviously Naughty Dog are really disappointed with this, and they did actually release an official statement on their Twitter account yesterday in response to this, and this is what they had to say. So they said, "We know the last few days have been incredibly difficult for you. We feel the same. It's disappointing to see the release and sharing of pre-release footage from development. Do your best to avoid spoilers, and we ask that you don't spoil it for others. The Last of Us Part 2 will be in your hands soon. No matter what you see and hear, the final experience will be worth it." So obviously Naughty Dog there reaching out to fans and saying, please don't go out there looking for spoilers. Please don't spoil this for other people. Let people pick up the game and play it for the first time and experience it the way that the developers want you to experience that game. They don't want the story, which is the heart of the Last of Us franchise. It has amazing characters, amazing story. That's what people are really looking forward to, you know, seeing how the story of Joel and Ellie continues. seeing how these characters have grown, where they are, years and years after the events of the original Last of Us. And it would be really shitty for that to be spoiled, to get snippets of the story, key points and big story character points, and to get those spoiled for you, so that when you experience those for the first time, it loses that impact. It loses the effect that the developers were going for. And that's really, really crappy. And obviously, as you take spoilers as well, you often take them out of context, so it's really hard to get an overall feel for what's happening at that point in the game, because it's just a snippet of a segment of the story at that particular point. And obviously there'll be a lot of speculation going on out there. Potentially as well, there were rumors that the ending had been spoiled. I don't know if that's the case, because obviously I'm avoiding these spoilers like the plague. But yeah, it's really disappointing for Naughty Dog. So I mean, is there any truth to the allegations that this might have been leaked by a disgruntled employee? Well, we know that, Naughty Dog have had a bit of a rough start of the year. They have come under fire previously. I think in March, on the 12th of March, Jason Schreier actually wrote an article here where he went into a lot more detail and kind of sort of attacked, Naughty Dog for their crunch culture and the really poor, working environment at Naughty Dog at the moment. I think he interviewed 13 current and former employees that work at Naughty Dog and have worked on some of their key titles. And he did talk about how, the working environment at the moment is really poor. Crunch is a huge issue. It's a massive issue in the gaming industry anyway. We know that, but apparently in Naughty Dog it is quite severe. And he said, how long can Naughty Dog continue on using, these kinds of working environments, and that it really is taking a toll on its staff, and that there's a lot of disgruntled employees. He even said when he interviewed people about The Last of Us Part 2, people admitted that the game is really good, but that it comes at too big a cost. It comes at a huge cost to the people actually working on the title. And he said it's just too big a price to pay. A lot of the current employees and former employees talked about this idea at Naughty Dog that they're built around a culture of perfectionism, and that games have to be great. They have to hit these incredibly high standards that they've set for themselves, and they've produced some incredible games from the Uncharted series, the original Last of Us. These are amazing titles and really are incredible titles, but because they have had such a success and so much renown, that has created this culture of perfectionism, that only perfection is enough, and that developers have to hit that perfection at any cost, no matter the human cost, no matter the cost of people's lives, their welfare, their livelihood, their mental health. And he's just said, it is a massive problem. They have talked about the fact that, because of the crunch culture, many people are sacrificing their health, their relationships, their personal lives at the altar of the game that they are developing. And they obviously did say that, yes, Naughty Dog are trying to do their best to take care of staff, providing food, encouragement to go take regular breaks. But for the most part, there is still this pressure to get the job done at all costs, and that is a big issue. One of the things they talked about is the fact that a lot of employees are incredibly disgruntled, and as a result of that, there's a very high turnover of staff. People are leaving Naughty Dog quite regularly, and this sounds very familiar. It sounds very similar to the issues that BioWare have been having with, large numbers of their staff leaving, particularly after the Mass Effect trilogy, Mass Effect Andromeda and Dragon Age Inquisition, and obviously with Anthem recently. But they talked about the fact that, the same thing has been happening at Naughty Dog, and they even said, in the credits of the 2016, Uncharted 4, out of the 20 non-lead designers, a whopping 14. That's 70% are actually no longer at the studio. So all these people that have trained and are really seasoned and experienced, they're leaving in droves, and there's got to be a reason for that, and that has got to do with the crunch culture at Naughty Dog at the moment. So these allegations that potentially these leaks could have come from a disgruntled employee that is having, payment disputes at the moment and is fed up with the crunch culture, fed up with the way that staff are being taken. You can believe that that would be a reason. Whether or not their actions are justified, I mean, for me, I just don't understand it. In terms of them releasing and leaking this gameplay, I don't get it. I don't get where your mindset comes from, why you would choose to do that. Obviously, they're wanting to act out against Naughty Dog. Obviously, they're wanting to hurt the developer. And certainly, these leaks will definitely hurt Naughty Dog. They will hurt the developer in some way. But for me, it just seems really counterproductive. Not only are they hurting, Naughty Dog, but they're also hurting the fellow developers that have worked on this game with them, people that have spent years and years and years and had to sacrifice for this game and put so much of their heart and their time and their soul into it, and then to spoil that for those developers that have put so much work in, and they don't get to see fans react to the game the first time they play it. They don't get to see that results, and it's exciting to see how people respond to things that they've made. And obviously it's really put a dampener on it for those developers as well. And then also it doesn't seem, it seems counterproductive to what they're wanting to achieve. Obviously they're wanting Naughty Dog to honor their agreements with them if there were payment disputes, but by doing this, it feels like they're really sort of backing themselves into a corner, because they must be going against some kind of legal contract that they have with Naughty Dog, some kind of NDA process or anything like that. So I just don't understand why someone would do that, because obviously if they do get discovered that they have leaked this footage and they have spoiled the game for fans, then surely there are going to be consequences to those actions, and those consequences could be quite severe, not just a disciplinary, but this could involve legal actions, lawsuits, potentially fines. They could actually end up being sacked possibly and let go with poor reference, without any kind of pay or anything like that. It's kind of a really extreme action to take. So either this person, that if it is an employee that's done it, I can't even imagine the emotional or mental state that they must be in at the moment to take such drastic actions. And then obviously they're also hurting the fans, people that have been waiting for this game for years, that are really looking forward to it. So I'm really disappointed to hear that these leaks are out there. I think it's really disappointing for Naughty Dog. I hope that you do not get the game spoilt for you. I would absolutely say be careful if you're going on social media and you're looking out there. Be careful what you're reading, be careful what you're looking at, because there are a lot of people out there that will just take this information and will use it as a way to either troll people or to get clicks or to get views. So just be careful. If you don't want to be spoiled, definitely, you're warned. Be careful when you go out there. We have until now June to actually wait for the game to come out. So that's at least a month and a half that we've got to get through without getting spoiled. I'm hoping that it's not going to spoil the game. We do know that The Last of Us Part 2 has been finished. I think they're in the final part. Well, they were in the final part of development, which is where they were going through all the bugs and glitches and really making the game play smoothly and run smoothly. So we know that the main story and the gameplay is finished, and they're in that kind of wrapping up sort of phase of development. And obviously now it's been green lit, and we now know it's coming out in June. So hopefully, even though these spoilers have come out for the story, hopefully Naughty Dog are not going to go back and try and rewrite scenes. That's one of the big issues that I think the Mass Effect 3 had. The ending, I remember a couple of years ago, quite a while ago, was actually spoiled, and it was going to be a completely different ending. And then I think BioWare might have freaked out about that and actually rewrote the ending, and the ending of Mass Effect 3 was just really poorly written. It did feel very much like it was tacked on. It didn't really flow with everything that had been happening, and it just felt very disjointed and very poorly written and maybe very rushed, and that could have had something to do with the spoilers, that the BioWare didn't want people to already know what was going to happen in the ending and therefore rewrote a different ending so that people didn't know what was coming, but actually what was there in the end ended up being mediocre and ended up being disappointing. So hopefully Naughty Dog won't do that. I don't think they will do. I think they'll stick to their original vision, and I think they're just going to have to accept that some people now will know certain key points in the story. Some people might know the ending, and unfortunately it's happened. You know, we can't take it back. The game has been spoiled. All we can do now is try and avoid any further spoilers, and I'm sure we'll get some news in the upcoming weeks on where this has come from and obviously what's happening and what actions Naughty Dog might be taking legally going forward. And if there's any interesting news, I will certainly bring that out to you guys. But anyway, that's my news this week. I just wanted to give my thoughts on it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Of course, if you did, please hit the like button as always, show your support. Please comment below. Please like, please subscribe. Feel free to join the channel if you'd like to become an N7 member, or if you want to support in other ways, you can do so by donating to the channel on PayPal, jumping across onto Patreon and becoming a member in that way as well. Any way you can support the channel, guys, is massively appreciated as always. But hope you guys are having a great week. Of course, hope you guys are staying safe. Please stay safe. Please look after yourselves and take care at the moment. And yeah, just hope you guys are good and safe at home. And happy gaming, guys. I'm sure many of you are doing lots of gaming in the recent weeks as you're stuck inside during the lockdown. All right. Well, anyway, hope you guys have a good week. Take care. And as always, happy gaming. Bye, guys.